Hi, what's up guys? Alan here. Welcome to another episode of Thoughts on This, where I speak on my thoughts. And today I'll be giving my thoughts on 2023 summer blockbuster and film of that year, Barbie. Distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures and based on the doll line by Mattel. The film is directed by Greta Gerwig and centers around Barbie discovering what she is truly made for. Barbie became the highest grossing film of that year and earned 9 nominations at the Golden Globes, winning Best Original Song and Cinematic and Box Office Achievement. Now, what do I think about this film? So, I gotta be honest, I had no interest in watching this film, it wasn't my cup of tea, but then I've seen all the hype around it and heard from a lot of people saying that it was good, and I was like, you know what? Let's actually see what all the hype is about, and I did end up watching it. In fact, this is the exact same shirt that I wore when I watched it back in theaters, and I'm glad I did because it was a surprisingly good film. It's got captivating visuals, infectious humor, and just overall excitement. I think what really made this film great is the set and production design. The set made me feel like I'm in this perfect world, from the bright colors, artificial landscape, and the over-the-top buildings. And the fact that majority of the set were actual physical set pieces instead of CG is impressive. It all looks immersive and surreal. The production design, specifically in Barbie Land, fits wholly with the aesthetic of the dolls, where it's this bright, carefree, and colorful world. It's a great contrast compared to the production design in the real world, where it's not as vibrant and almost the exact opposite. The storyline was interesting to me because it started off as being this generic adventure story about Barbie trying to find this owner that is quote-unquote playing with her to restore the separation between her world and the real world. But once the political elements like patriarchy come in, it quickly transitions into the story about the Kens taking over the government and the Barbies fighting to take back control. And from there, I was kept intrigued of where the story was going to go next. The cast truly made this film. They were all energetic in their roles. Margot Robbie was geniusly cast in the lead role, bringing a bubbly and vulnerable personality when portraying the iconic doll. Ryan Gosling also delivers with his dashing and comedic performance as Ken. The supporting cast playing the many variations of Barbie and Ken were all fantastic. Despite playing different versions of one character, each brought their own unique personalities to their roles. Issa Rae, Simu Liu, Kingsley Ben-Adir, and Michael Cera's Alan are just few of the standouts amongst the Barbie Land residents. The biggest standout for me has to be Kate McKinnon as Weird Barbie. Every scene that she was in had me laughing, from her physical comedy and line delivery, giving off vibes from her days at SNL. The human characters were somewhat one-noted, with Will Ferrell being more of a side piece for most of the film. For someone portraying CEO of Mattel, you'd think he would play a major part of the story, but I felt like he was just there as a filler. He brought a few chuckles in the scenes, but I feel he could have contributed more to the plot of the film. America Ferrera and Ariana Greenblatt as Gloria and Sasha were the more exceptional amongst the human characters. I love the dynamic they brought into the film, and they definitely contributed more than Will Ferrell's character ever did. I could also say the same thing for Rhea Perlman as Ruth Handler, who, despite being in 2 scenes, played an integral role in Barbie's story arc. The costumes for the film were so spot on with the doll that it looks like they came straight from Barbie's closet. It's just something you would expect Barbie to wear, and the same thing applies for the Kens. I also find it interesting how a couple of the human characters have outfits exclusive to both worlds and yet maintain their style. Sasha is a perfect example, where she wears all black and dresses like your typical angsty tween when she's in the real world, but once she enters Barbie Land, she starts to wear a lot more color while also maintaining her style. The soundtrack for the film was great. I loved the diversity in each song, and it complemented both the brand and the film as a whole. Dance the Night by Dua Lipa is one of the songs that just fits with the brand. I honestly cannot think of a better song to go with that entire dance sequence. Lizzo's Pink is the perfect song to introduce the main character and the world she's living in. I would say it's a great song to get you excited for what this film has in store. The Bad Day version was equally great, adding that extra humorous element, making it hilarious. I'm Just Ken was a fun song that captures Ken's internal thoughts, and Ryan Gosling absolutely nailed it with this song. It's one of those songs that is just kind of ridiculous, but yet also amusing. Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For was the most beautiful sounding song from the soundtrack that tugs on the heartstrings, and one that brought a tear to my eye. I would say it was a great song to kind of wrap up Barbie's story arc, and it added that emotional depth to the film. I found the humor in this film to be just flat out funny. Although some jokes were a little cheesy, I still found it fun, especially the sequence where the Kens were at war with each other during I'm Just Ken. That whole sequence will keep you belly laughing. I also didn't expect a film about a toy to have so many adult-oriented jokes, and yet they work with the topics and themes being covered in this film. Speaking of that, I think the film did a great job uncovering those topics and themes. The way they addressed the controversy around the doll itself was well executed, and the role that patriarchy and matriarchy plays in society was displayed perfectly in this film. Some viewers may have a problem with it, but I got what it was trying to do. It took an issue that's present in society and showed that it still exists while also poking fun at it at the same time. The incorporation of other themes such as existentialism blends perfectly with Barbie's character development. It just adds that extra component to her identity crisis. The message in Gloria's speech gives an ideal expression of how complicated society can be, especially for women and their expectations. Overall, the film was good as a whole. The commitment made into this film was just pure excellence, and I can definitely say it was worth the hype and that I underestimated this film. The film definitely took me by surprise, and if you're looking for a film that is just pure fun and exhilarating, this is the film to watch. Alright, that sums up all of my final thoughts I have for this film, and if you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe. It would really mean a lot. That's all I have to say, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!